ver si podemos entre hoy y mañana hacer un tepachito. Ahorita con esto, un tepache no sabes qué delicia. Algo no, ahorita ya sigo comiendo, yo ya me iba a acabar, pero es que se me olvidó que estábamos trabajando. Oigan, pues aquí está la receta. Abre y reporta a tu canastita. Se va a enfriar, pero ahorita los calentamos. Chéquense nada más lo que es los taquitos de canasta deliciosos. Ustedes dirán, ay, es mucha grasa, pero recuerden que utilizamos aceite de oliva. Nosotros, cada quien en su casita decidirá qué tipo de aceite utilizar. En este caso son aceite de oliva. La cebollita morada, y está exquisita, está deliciosa, flaco. Está muy rica y de verdad les aseguro que si los preparan en casita, se van a chupar los dedos. Y esto como para un domingo, riquísimo, ¿no? Vámonos ya para que no se nos sigan limpiando y vamos a degustar estos riquísimos taquitos de canasta, de papa, de chicharrón. Los pueden preparar de muchos platillos, de colito, bueno, hay de todo absolutamente. Esto es Con Sabor a México y los invitamos a que nos sigan, a que nos vean martes, viernes y domingo. Ya saben que tenemos un video para todos ustedes. Muchísimas gracias, Silvia. Gracias a ti. Gracias, Marcito. ¿Cómo se dice? Tacos. Tacos de canasta, tacos. Adiós, adiós. Bye. Hoy está muy rico, ¿sí?
Hey, and welcome to Innovators Powered by Best Buy. I'm Bradley Hasemeyer, and today is a very exciting day because we're talking to Marques Brownlee. Yes, you know him as MKBHD. He's involved with Ridge Wallet, making some new products, and we're here to learn a little bit more. Marques Brownlee, I gotta say, man, when I found out that we were going to be talking to you, I was so stoked. Thank you so much for being with us. How's your day going so far?
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's been pretty good. Busy. Very busy day.
You seem surprised busy, but we're in Tech Timber.
Yeah,
or whatever it is.
That's part of the fun of it, is things just kind of pop up. I was in California this morning. I'll be back tomorrow. Busy.
That's just how it works, right? It's like people are running. I got to run the errands to the grocery store. That's basically, but your grocery store is another state with huge tech people. Well, thanks for taking some time out of your day and being here. Basically, our show is for tech-focused people who love products and love tech. So, you know, on a pie chart, 99.9% of everyone knows who you are, but give us a little bit on who you are for, I guess, my mom who's listening, the one person who may not know, and then your involvement with Ridge Wallet and why we're here talking about these cool products.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I make tech videos online. I review products. I talk tech. I interviewed people. I kind of just have been covering tech for a while, the better part of the last 15 or so years online, mainly in YouTube videos. So I really enjoy making videos, and I really enjoy testing and reviewing products in general. That's been kind of the theme behind everything, is trying to figure out if things are actually good and if they actually work, and which one you should buy. That's kind of the overall gist of it. And what's exciting is I've actually started being able to make my own products. This is like a question I've thought forever. Like, once I was, sort of in a group with reviewing a lot of products, I started seeing comments like, well, what if you made your own? That'd be cool, right? Like, what if you made your own products? What would they be? And I think the original thought was, you should make a smartphone, but that is like,
oh man,
insanely
that's a lot
ambitious.
Of layers.
Yeah, very competitive undertaking. But really what I actually found most interesting and compelling, at least, was like everyday carry products. Because, I mean, we carry a phone every day. It's a very personal decision for a lot of people, but you also carry a wallet. You also carry a pen. You know, there's all types of stuff that people carry every day. And Ridge was a company that was starting to make a whole bunch of those things and wanted input in how to make those things well. And so I collaborated with them, started working with them. And I think the good news was they were just the right size. And a lot of creators go through sort of decisions like this, but they're just the right size that they are willing to listen to a creator and like take input from me and turn it into real products, which is amazing. They're small enough to do that, but they're also big enough that they can actually pull it off. They have supply chains, they have material science expertise, they can actually make stuff. So this was like the Goldilocks zone, like perfect opportunity to go from reviewing products to also making products of my own, which has been super exciting.
I love that, and I gotta wonder, the way you said that made me think that there were other groups that maybe have approached you in the past, but weren't gonna listen to you. Like, come on, like you're Marques Brownlee. Like, why would they even? That's gotta be frustrating. I don't know if that's something that you're talking out of experience or just hypothetically, but I'm shocked by that. I would imagine every YouTuber out there would be as well.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, it all comes kind of down to what your expertise is actually in. I think a common analog is athletes having signature shoes. Like, this is something you see all the time, right? And I've talked to a lot of these athletes, and many of them kind of don't really have a hand in designing this shoe. It almost gets presented to them every year, and they go, cool, that's my new shoe.
Yeah.
But I think the ones where they're actually sort of seeing iterations and sort of understand why it looks
MMI, we expect the unexpected.
The trade-offs that happen behind it.
Sure.
Yeah. Those are usually always competitive. So I wanted to make sure that it was actually going to be a collab instead of just a company slapping a name.
Well, it's all over.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I actually have a couple examples here. We're going to talk about the product specifically in just a second, but I wanted to kind of get into, like, why a wallet? I know you weren't there in 2013 when Ridge started, but on our podcast, we have had people creating products that never existed, like Theragun from Therabody. We, at least not to my knowledge, wasn't anything prior to that. And then companies that have innovated, like Sonos, right, with the Ace headphones and that kind of thing, including Google, Pixel 9 is offered in as well. So it's a pre-existing. So the wallet is like, I mean, I think cavemen had wallets, but they've been around a long time, and they look pretty much the same. And they were always like mostly leather, mostly foldable, and then so you know what got Ridge's attention to say.
You calling for some wheels? I'm Johnny on the spot. I'll hook you up.
And kind of what led them down that street.
I think you're exactly on the money, which is, this is an innovation. It's a product category that exists forever. And one of the interesting things about categories like that is you kind
It's
of
coming at you. I'll get back to work.
Stalwarts that don't innovate anymore. They're kind of safe. They're playing it safe and just kind of
Yeah,
existing.
the fat cats, right? The kings that are like, bookkeeping's fine. We don't really need to do much to it. We're good.
Yeah. So they end up being that ends up being like almost like a back burner thing. Like they don't think too much about innovating their product anymore as much as they think about growing their business and all the other things that come with being there. And so a disruptor is kind of like prime for those types of industries. And the wallet hadn't really seen anything new in forever. And so they actually had a really unique, interesting idea that sort of took off because it hadn't been interrupted in forever. I'm actually hoping, I'm very excited about the new one, which I think is even more right up the alley. But yeah, in general, I think you're right. Wallets, not a whole lot of change for a long time, and sort of right for a new play.
And then, so then the next step from the giant wallet that held every receipt and every defunct video store card that people had. Then we moved into the minimalist kind of category. Why do you think this took off? Because there are other minimalist wallets, so clearly there's a desire by people. Does this speak to culture, or is this just like more of an EDC, everyday carry type of thing that you're talking about, or what's the draw there?
Yeah, it's a couple things. I mean, it is the design being relatively unique, but also, the cultural moment, the branding, like the marketing, how they presented it, and in general, just working. I feel like for me, I've always been a minimalist in what I carry every day, even though I review a lot of tech. I don't want to actually own a small number of things.
Isn't that so funny?
So I think a lot about like the few things that I carry, and I want them to be efficient. And I feel like this is, a minimal wallet is right up my alley. I don't want to carry 100 receipts. I actually don't carry any cash. That might be rare, but I almost never need it. I have like Apple Pay on my phone. I have the card in the wallet. So a minimal wallet was a pretty good idea.
And you bring up a really good point. This is something I was curious about too, because I like EDC as well. I review products. I don't have 100 billion followers like you, but I love products. I love gear. To me, gear is really like a tool to help you do something, and it should motivate you toward adventure. I'm a dad with a couple of kids, and like I love gear that gets me outside and does things like that. So the minimalist wallet kind of idea is great, but even slimming down more is tap to pay on your phone, your watch, these kind of things. And I've wondered, what does this do to a wallet industry, and how do you, as a forward-looking tech person, kind of marry that with the demand for these wallets? I'm just curious.
Yeah, it kind of flips it on its head. I feel like they were just delivering things that were status quo for a long time, which is fine. But then when the priorities of the potential buyers shifts, you gotta be able to respond to that. And I think what's fun is a lot of times the priorities shift and the buyers don't even know the priorities shift. They just keep using the old thing just because, I don't know, I've had this watch forever. I'm used to it. Another one.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think being able to address that, which is, look, I don't actually want, I'm a back pocket person and not a wallet. It would be kind of annoying after a while to sit on a huge wallet full of 15 cards and a bunch of cash and flips and just all these things I don't need. And so I think they had to think a lot about that, especially in the beginning, about what those new priorities are and attacking those straight on. That's how you have something a little different.
And I think Ridge has done a really good job, not just evolving the wallet from it's a card-carrying thing, but specifically some of the elements here, like it can hold 12 cards, RFID blocking, it's obviously the material itself. Talk a little bit about these products as a product reviewer. What sticks out to you? What are some highlights for you? And then why specifically did you say, yeah, let's do it on these? They've got other products in their Ridge category, so why these?
Yeah, to me, it's actually just in the literal functionality of using your wallet. So obviously you want it to look great and be nice and soft and high quality materials and feel nice and all that. But to me, it actually came down to the moment where you have to go get a certain card or a certain ID. You know, I'm about to go check out at a store and they ask me for my card, and in 2 seconds I can get to the most access card and like just do it.
Just got this one up, right?
Exactly.
And then just pops up. Instead of having to open up, slide it out, close it back, all that, right?
Yeah. So just that little moment, the way they optimized that, I thought was amazing. Or even just like I have, you know, my lesser used cards, like my insurance card or my key card for my car. Actually, I don't need them as much, but when I do, I can still get them as well. So that little difference between having the fold versus just like popping a card in and out, for me, there was a pretty big difference.
And then some materials here we got. This is carbon fiber, or is it just regular? Yeah, that's carbon fiber. This thing could win some races because it's made out of carbon fiber. This is great. That's like race quality, lightweight, super strong. And then aluminum, like the bricks say, is that what we're working with here?
Exactly. And that foil fill you can see in the matte black text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that one. Again, that's right down. It's like that. Yeah, there we go. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
and then the packaging too. Was that something that you had? I'm gonna show off the packaging here because that's such an element in the experience as well. Within here, you've got like a little tool, a little everyday carry tool. Talk a little bit about that. Why package it this way?
Yeah, it's really, I mean, it's all kind of in thoughtfulness of design. So again, this is the part that you only really have once. Like you use a wallet a million times, but you only unbox it one time. So it kind of sets the tone for your first impression of the product. And if you're paying a nice premium price, you want to have a nice premium first impression. So including a little tool to change the faceplate, even though we don't have to include that, we do because it's nice. And then premium materials and a nice little like well-designed little, you know, card as you saw on the wallet as well. The colors and the brown, red, and black, so that works nicely for
That's easy for you, yeah.
So yeah, when you can sort of combine all those things and give people a good first impression, I think that's pretty universal in products for days. You will see products that minimize their packaging and they're going to absolutely minimum price and then there are those that kind of give you a little bit more of an experience, a little bit more of a nice taste in your mouth where you're like, return to the brand, whatever it is. I'll get another one, just a really good one. Trying to live there and still be practical is definitely good.
And clearly you're involved in not just like my logo here, but you're involved on like a creative director kind of side. Talk about how that evolved. Was that the initial idea, or were they just kind of like, hey, we want to work with you, and we were like, what if we did this instead?
Yeah, there's actually a really fun, that's actually the most fun part for me, to be honest. Is Ridge didn't just want to make new products and better products, which is what I wanted to do, but they wanted to, as a company and as a brand, be creator-driven, period. Which is fun, because you think of these big companies as like a boat with like 1,000 oars, where they never change the direction of it very quickly, it takes a lot. But there are certain companies that you think of as being typically like really intertwined in the fabric of like YouTube. You see them on YouTube all the time, you see them on Instagram all the time. You think of them when they're online in these spaces all the time, and they're very creator forward, creator first, which is really awesome. Typically they're good to work with if they're doing ads with creators, things like that. And Ridge, when they came to me and when we first started talking, they made a point that they also wanted to be at the forefront of that space as well. And I'm right there. I'm a creator. I make videos. I do videos about products all the time. I do ad integrations all the time. And so that natural connection of, oh, I can walk you guys through being the absolute best in the business here also, and we can make the best products possible that I have ideas about at the same time. That was kind of I was excited when they were also interested in sort of changing the direction of the boat back quickly, because you don't think of usually big companies being willing to do that.
Yeah, no, I love that. And then What does that look like on a day-to-day for you? Are you kind of like 50-50? Are you hybrid work from home kind of employee? Obviously, you got to be able to touch in on the road, or they just get in touch with you and they're like, hey, we want to develop this new line of product. What do you think? How's that work?
Yeah, we have daily touch points, and we have a couple Slack channels now where I keep up to date on the business. But it's also like they're really good at getting samples of stuff here to our studio. So if they have new ideas for stuff or early iterations of prototypes, they can get them here very quickly. We can go back and forth on stuff. When I see the track number deliver the thing, immediately fire up the chat. What do you think of this? What do you think of this?
Yeah.
Shooting ideas back and forth. So even if they're not physically here in the office all the time,
Where you
they're
at, go?
here sometimes. We do get a lot of data back and forth between just on exchanging ideas and figuring out what works. So that's been fun. And it's also, this is like a weird quirk, but like using a prototype of a product, I'm used to changing phones all the time, so I'm used to using a new thing every day, but using a prototype of my own product before the real one comes out is kind of surreal. And I have to remember to use the final version when it comes out, because I'm using the prototype this whole time.
Yeah. So you can't take that out.
So I can, and it's like I'm not thinking that Capture is like staring at my wallet like, ooh, what's that? Is that the unannounced Wiz wallet? Like, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, yeah, you're right. It's kind of the same way as like testing the new iPhone before anyone's allowed to know about it. I do have to keep an eye out and make sure it's not just out there.
Yeah, that's cool. And then obviously we're a podcast about kind of the stories behind the product. So were there any time kind of throughout this process that you thought, I just don't know if this is going to work out, or when you're telling them, hey, I really want to push the envelope here. I want to instead of carbon fiber, I want to use angels drop and cloud wings and like things like that. And you're just like, no, then they say no, it's not going to work. And well, it's not going to happen. A lot of the products on here have these backstories of it started off on a bar napkin, we got it this far, and then manufacturing couldn't get this one thing right, and so we ran out of money and we were strapped. You're in a bit of a different situation here because you're coming into a pre-existing company, but I'm curious when you were along the way developing this, if there were any kind of behind the scenes that you could bring us into.
Yeah, so I'll try not to give away too much, but I've definitely felt
You can give away as much as you want, because you just put it out there, we'll go across with it, it's totally fine.
It has, it's been a learning experience, and I think this has been the other upside that I didn't know about before starting working with them, was how much I would learn about the iteration of products and how much they already know about products, especially materials, and they do a lot with the metal and the carbon fiber, as you've seen, but even just fabrics and other things like that. I can design a product based on how I think it should work and what I think it should look like. But there's another dimension that even as reviewers we don't always think about, which is how it should actually be built. That can satisfy both those things.
Interesting.
I had a little bit of this with the shoe. Again, I could make a shoe that looks great, but ends up having structural integrity, so I would need more extra detail there.
Same thing with this show.
It's just fabric.
Yeah.
So I think, that's been the sort of X factor, which is I can go to them with some ideas and go, I think it should be this, this, and this. And they'll go, okay, just so you know, the trade-off with having A, B, and C is you will not be able to do D. And I'll go, that's why I've never seen that before. Okay, back to my own drawing board. Let's see if I can, change dimensions here, change priorities here. Ooh, asymmetrical here. What are we going to do with this pattern? That's been new conversations I didn't know that we would have, but that I've had a lot of really insightful. So yeah, every product you see, whether you think about it or not, has had some amount of trade-offs in the design process.
Sure.
It might be head scratchers in the final one. How did they go with this?
Yeah.
Probably because it's the only way they could have also done this.
Yeah. Most likely it's actually spent a lot of time having to figure out how to compromise on that. And you just think, well, they really missed it on that. The button's too small. And you're like, well, I don't think they missed it. I think there was a compromise that had to be made. That's a good point.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I love that you're getting that behind the curtain view after how many videos do you think you've done? Like reviewing product?
I think so. The total video count is somewhere around 1,650 videos.
just think about that. A
Yeah.
1650. I don't have that many friends. I have like 5 friends. I have 1650 products. I couldn't even name that many. Like that's amazing. And so out of all of that background that you've done, all the work you've done, it's so interesting that this is kind of a new aspect. And I would imagine that now as a viewer, you understand how the sauce is made in a different way. And that is, reviewers in general are like, I don't know, it feels kind of light, maybe it's too light. Okay, I'll go with something like that. No. This is someone's baby. It started off as like an idea that you could fit, and then you had to make these compromises in manufacturing, and then there's marketing. So much goes into it.
Yeah, it's kind of changed. You're right. It's adjusted the lens through which I think I see products. I've always been what I think is a good judge of what makes a good product for a buyer. Like I'm like a professional user, basically. I would use something. I know what to expect at certain parts of the process for using something. Great, but then also having a little insight on, like, okay, there's a whole company behind this, thinking about the next generation of this product, thinking about what they could have done with this product that shows just sort of going a different direction. Yeah, it's been fun to see. I did go to business school, but even if you study business, you don't really get that full hands-on of like how actual companies are thinking of specific products and hear it from them.
We hear that story a lot, where someone's like, yeah, I've got an MBA, but it didn't matter because that didn't include learning about, shipping issues between, this country and that country and a shortage of this chemical that led to this product, all that kind of stuff. So life is truly the
Morse Mutual.
Right,
We're here to help.
You talked about
I think we can handle that.
From the standpoint of, a lot of companies are already thinking ahead of what's to come. And I noticed, and I didn't even realize this, but Ridge has a lot of things. There's like a e-case, there's rings, recently suitcases, which makes sense.
I'm on the clock. What you want? Some wheels?
So are you
It's on the way.
involved with some of that stuff as well, or did you just come on and that's already been going on?
I've seen a lot of development of that, and I've talked about that as well. And that's the thing is, like, we have, old prototypes of, like, the things that you guys don't see, which is the old key cases and the old wallets and the old suitcases and stuff. But yeah, I think the
Gallery redemption exhibition.
what are you
Again.
going to bring with you? Because this is where you want to do
It
fish.
better pass. Everyone's down with the profitable right now.
My lifestyle, what I want to do. So, yeah, I've been trying to shine a light as a user on what people expect from this exercise, and then that can shape a little bit, yeah. I mean, it's funny that a lot of the stuff that I didn't really think was possible has already started to materialize behind the scenes. Like, you'll see up and up and launches in the next couple of weeks and months that things that have been going on behind the scenes for longer. But yeah, it's actually, to be honest, pretty refreshing that they're doing the kind of challenge that to me are just kind of like, hey, I think the ABC and And like I have a prototype now of a product that's working on where I want to start really using it, and I was like, oh, this is terrible. I realized I designed this in a way that I think is very aesthetic, but it's horrible, not functional. So I've gone back to the drawing board on things as well. So it's good. It's good to actually set the thing.
It's like we're
Watch the video for you.
How about instead of peanut butter and jelly, let's do peanut butter and okay,
Try it out.
let's try it out. Pretty sure one bite, and you're gonna say you were right, Dad. This is not the way we want to be eating lunch today. I love that. Where do you also see, even within Ridge or without Ridge, if on the outside, where is tech heading? Obviously people come to you all the time thinking about what's the future of tech. AI is something we talk a lot about on this program, with the TV show we did on this podcast.
emerging trends and products and tech in general. I guess the interesting part about tech is we always get this acceleration curve of like a really, really fast adoption and then it flattens out. So when things are first taking off, there are these really steep curves of improvement, and it's really exciting because things get 2 times better year over year, 5 times better year over year, and it's really awesome to watch. And then you kind of have to predict where it will even out. So you talk about AI, obviously that's everywhere now. It's doing the thing. It's rapidly improving
right now, right?
It's
MMI, we
everyone's
expect
wondering
the
where
unexpected.
Is it,
I'll look into
is
it.
it human intelligence? Is it above human intelligence? Like there's lots of questions about that, how useful it can be to us. I think in general, my favorite trends in tech are the ones that are focused on being useful to us. So yes, there's a lot of things happening, but the most interesting ones are the ones that actually are useful to me. So the assistant on my phone that can go dig up an email from 10 years ago, or the one that can tell me the weather in the city that I'm going to be landing in a couple of days before I even take off on overpass. The things that are actually designed to provide real function for real people and real situations. I think like that is the most exciting part.
What's interesting about that? Are you just like this case study for information going well? You got this going on in your YouTube channel, you got your sneaker deal, didn't even break a sweat, like that whole deal. So what's next for you?
I think this does feel like the beginning. Like I'm sort of all in on like now that we're starting to deeply work on products and bridge. I'm excited about that for sure. But also, I just feel like I just want to keep making more better videos. There's always this light at the end of the tunnel for the production nerd in me. It's like better videos. So those are the 2 main things. Is I think we can make the best quickly best tools on the internet. And ideally, also start making some of the best products in the world. I always enjoy it.
I love that. Well, congrats, man, as a continue yourself as a creator. You've always been an inspiration to myself and to so many others, even though I'm much older than you. Watching you grow over and grow up, it's really cool. Shout out to all your hard work. Thank you for keeping tech on the straight and narrow. We need people like you. We need governing body consensus in the story. Guys, we're not just about creators, but everybody is another really cool product. Shout out to Marquez. Thanks so much for being on the show. And thank you guys for watching and or listening. Make sure you subscribe and let us know in the comments what product you'd like to see next.
Now, to be fair,
The thing is, they go down most games by multiple goals. Yeah. Like they just dig themselves into a hole, but they also have a unrealistic low shooting percentage. Like it's gonna correct itself. It should. It's typical. I think they're like. So I didn't comprehend for that either. I didn't expect that to be simple and settle back and everything fit in. But like when I was talking to the friends after that Santos game, they all seemed to think that it was all coalescing. Things were moving forward. Everything was really positive. And they've not really built on that momentum yet, which they need to because the Central Division is very top heavy right now. It certainly is. Now, speaking of momentum and vibes in the locker room, why don't you give us a lead? I'm going to say more like Bruins part of it, Cal. The Boston Bruins, now, they have put together a couple of recent games. The vibes are off. And, you know, attention being paid to Jim Montgomery of it all. And here's what I have to say to Jim Montgomery, okay? He took grief going against Val Marchand, and then after that turnover, Marchand said, don't do it. Thanks for getting after that in the third period. You hear the Bruins talk about it, they're all like, no big deal, this happens. The man's coaching for his job. You know, in the litany of mistakes that Bruins management has made, one of them is undoubtedly making your head coach a lame duck in a season in which you really need things to go well with your team. And Jim Montgomery is not the reason why the goaltending tandem of all goaltending tandems no longer exists. And the fact that Jeremy is playing like a goalie that did not have training camp in the stuff on his percentage, and then that was not really good because of the Bruins no more. He's not had one of them signing a lot. He's a perfectly good compliment considering what I know is my book number than that. And for some
Ryan Glitch.
I don't feel like this is all Jim fault, but undoubtedly he's a good player, and that's why he's being invested. He's trying to get their attention. The man is trying to save him. Now, is he the coach that is on the hottest seat in the NHL right now? I would say so, right? I think so, only because a lot of first-year coaches there are, but also like some of the other places where you're looking at, I think everybody who's talking with this is like Sullivan State, despite the fact that Derek Malone with the Detroit Red Wings, and you look at say the future change or things like that there. But in Montgomery's case, that's the market where any media can really put a heat on somebody at this time. And
We've lost
also,
visual on the suspect.
Management did not reward him with the extension. They're like, we're talking to him about it. Well, that's motherfucker. And he's a lame duck coach at this point, and you can feel that he's getting turned up with the Bruins in the stay with the Bruins. Kill Bar. Never. I need to feel like I'm doing something important. So if I could be part of the work, it's just the minutes a week. If I'm eating a salad, I like to feel like I'm getting good roughage in my tummy, and I get more of that with more than I do with milk. Occasionally, literally, it tastes like something you can eat right on the board. No! Kevin Carr was one of the two players who keep the NHL in place. And in the history of the National Hockey League, it's only been 3 instances where a defenseman has led or had a share of the points lead after the first month of the season. The other 2 times, a guy named Bobby Orr. And coincidentally, those were all 2 times that Bobby Orr led the NHL in points, despite being a defenseman. We're talking 69-70, 74-75. A lot of us talking down the car based on last season. Should score 100 points on it. What if you go beyond that? Becomes only the second player in NHL history to lead the NHL in points as a defenseman. I love it. We're already making comparisons to Bobby Orr. But Gta5 is so good. That feels